curator once told me when I was very young, and she asked me, well, how long do you plan on making art? And I was like, all my life. Well, how long are you going to live? I'm going to live for a long time. And she goes, well, then maybe you don't have to answer everything right now. Your art is a lifetime journey. And it's like your making doesn't have to resolve now. You can continue to develop and constantly try to learn. Hello, welcome to my studio. I'm Michael Belmore, sculptor, graduate from Ontario College of Art in 1994 from sculpture installation. Yeah, welcome. This is my studio. I grew up in Northern Ontario, in the middle of nowhere. I'm the youngest of 10. My mother passed away when I was young, but one of the things that she instilled into me was that I should go out into the world and do something. When I was finishing high school, deciding to become an artist, which program I wanted to go to, and I actually chose to go to OCAD because they offered plastics. I was there for the purpose of gaining skills, gaining knowledge about making, and that was really important to me. So it's carried through my practice all the time, like all through the years. I had some fabulous teachers, but I also learned very much that materials were really important to my practice. In materials like copper, materials like stone, I see them as having voice, and I see them as having a long, deep discussion that has existed long before we've interjected ourselves into that conversation. In a way, my work is often about those sort of small nuances of how materials converse. For First Nations people, Indigenous people, the copper is seen as the blood of the Machu Picchu and the Thunderbird, so sort of the protectorate of the sky world and the protectorate of the water world. And the copper for me always speaks to how we're connected. You know, we use copper all the time, and it's the early fire. It's what fire used to be. It's the thing that gave us heat and gave us warmth and, you know, pushes out the darkness. And so I think those things are part of the material. Where the influences come from are from very small, subtle places. It is a swing of a hammer. It is, you know, a crack of a fire. And what my endeavor and what my practice is all the things that are hidden that connect them. So looking at landscape in a physical sense, using the material as something that we pull from the ground. Copper, for me, has a beauty to it, a softness to it, but also it had a richness in color. And so what I did was I informed the landscape by hammering the rivers and the lakes and the ponds. And sort of, in a way, that is speaking to the ideas of how we address looking at the environment and how we look at caretaking. I don't do things that are easy. Hammering the copper is not easy. Carving granite is not easy, but the end result is worth it. The Gordie Howe Bridge is the new bridge that's going across from Windsor to Detroit. So the competition was a call for Indigenous artists to create a work on the Canadian side at the port of entry. The piece that I presented was essentially a piece of stainless steel form that was reminiscent of the skin from a birch bark tree. The material birch bark speaks about how we lived, the shelters we built, the vessels we built to travel, the canoes, and so the birch bark itself was very significant. The title for the piece at the Gordie Howe Bridge is Aazhoge, means bridge, literally, but in Anishinaabe, our language is verb-based. It means to be able to cross, bridging from this reality to other realities, to see into the sky world, to see into the water world. I'm really happy that I got to produce this work, which will speak to the communities in the arts. That's really important. And it's like, you don't do this on your own.